Hey, Perla. This is Alexander Mitchell tuning in right now with you guys.
Awesome. So we're glad that you are taking an interest in running for BCSGA president. And with that, there are some prepped questions that I do have, and I'm sure that our listeners would like to hear. Let me just pull up a timer. So let's go ahead and start with our first question. What makes you different from other candidates running for president?
I believe the differences between me and other candidates will be my persistence and courage to do what's necessary. Being in this position gives me the ability to fight and defend things for my peers that they will need that will change their lives drastically for college. And I'm going to be the one that's going to persistently go after these things and have the courage to not give up and continuously go after it, regardless of who my opponent is.
Why do our listeners deserve your vote?
Through the recent years, I found that I don't deserve anything. I don't deserve anything in this life. I don't deserve the people's votes, to be honest with you. But I've worked hard to obtain the skill sets that I have to help people, to fight for people, to defend people, to do what's necessary for the people. I'm just simply asking for people to vote for me in order to be put in the position to utilize those skill sets.
What ideas would you implement if you were elected?
Well, there's two major ideas and issues that are going on right now. Number one, I know that there is some talks of trying to obtain financial aid towards public transportation. Um, Now, the only issue with that is that not everybody uses public transportation. So if there is going to be funding that is going to be removed from our financial aid, it needs to be towards not only public transportation, but also towards our parking passes that a lot of students utilize. Number two would also be for women's awareness. There's a lot of women, especially at college, women throughout the world that feel unsafe, that feel threatened, or they also feel inferior to men. And I need to bring this up to the people within our college, make everybody aware of it, and to also prevent things like this from happening, making them feel safer to go to class, to go to college, and to obtain their education.
Those are definitely new and fresh ideas, Alexander. Amazing. How will you represent your constituents as if you were elected?
The way that I would represent them is with class, intellect, and courage. You know, you as being in a position where everybody is looking upon you and you sort of represent the community within Bakersfield College, you have to have those certain assets. You have to be able to hold yourself properly when you're going out to speaking to higher officials. When you're fighting against people, you have to have that respect, and you also have to have that courage in order to perform those ideas and to defend and fight for what is needed for my peers.
What is your leadership style?
My leadership style is simple. It will just essentially be me doing or not doing what I wouldn't ask for somebody else. So if I'm going out and I'm asking people to vote, or things that they would like and what they would need, I have to feel comfortable with doing that myself. So my leadership is being an example, doing things that you would ask for other people, and fighting for things that people wouldn't be able to fight for themselves. So I kind of put myself in everybody's shoes. I think about all the aspects. Diversity is a big thing to me, and the thought into diversity, not only to just hear diverse ideas, but also to put myself into their shoes and actually feel what they feel before making a decision. So my leadership is being a leader, being an example, thinking about everybody and not just myself.
And I've noticed that your involvement with the NAACP and the Board of Associates of Realtors, how do you feel those experiences can contribute to you being president of BCSGA?
Well, being in these certain associations and groups, it puts me in a position to understand more behind the scenes of how things are organized and working. It also puts me in a position to do things for other people. They're being in these associations, they obtain a certain amount of respect, and I can utilize these groups that I'm in order to bring awareness to certain things that are going on, which will then, in return, help my peers in the certain things that we're trying to go after in order to give us the best experience financially and just through our day to day within college.
Do you feel comfortable publicly speaking and presenting?
Yes, I believe that's probably my most comforting place is to be public speaking and presenting. For some reason, it just gives me a certain strength to know that I'm speaking to a wide range of people or a small range of people about ideas that will better help us and also receiving ideas that will help us and making those changes. So, public speaking has always been an interest of me, and due to my public speaking professor, I think she backed me on this that I'm pretty good.
What is the most difficult decision you've ever had to make during your last leadership position? And how did you arrive at your decision and what was your result?
So I believe my most difficult leadership role is being a father. I have two younger sons that are always looking at me, always observing me, always trying to learn new things, and also trying to learn this world and how you should behave in it. So I'm always under a microscope with them. And I believe that's the biggest part of being a leader is being under the microscope of somebody else and doing what's right at all times. So whether that's me, just like the other day of seeing a woman in the middle of the street with her car broken down and not able to move her car, that decision to move over and park and then get out and help that woman get out of the street so she doesn't get hit, those are big decisions. Even though it seems small, a lot of people don't have the courage in order to go and do certain things like that. I deal with that day to day. I deal with life. And as a leader, as somebody that's always watching you, whether that's my children or anybody else, you have to deal with life every single day. You have to make decisions. As a father, as a father and a husband, I have to make decisions on upholding the household, doing and teaching right from wrong to my children, making sure all my bills are paid, knowing how to negotiate with my bills in order to provide for my family, working hard. That's skill set is for leaders. And honestly, I think I've obtained that, and I think that's the only thing that you really need in order to be a leader. If you have those skill sets, then you have a good foot to start on as being a leader, not only throughout the world, but even within becoming a president at a college.
Thank you, Alexander. Well put. Very well put.
Thank you. So in leadership, just when we deal with and watching day-to-day politics and governors, senators, things like that, I hear a lot of people in the elections stating that diversity is a big thing. That's a big platform for them, is pushing for diversity. But there's having diversity, which is, I believe, is real easy. You can just get a group of different diverse people, put them in a room, and listen to them and make them feel like they're being heard. One thing about being diverse isn't just about getting diversity within a nation or within a certain group, but it's also to adhering to those diverse ideas. And that's what I try to capitalize on most. Not only can we get diversity, and diversity is already here, but we have to adhere to the diverse. So putting ourselves in each and everyone's shoes, knowing how they feel, knowing their upbringing, knowing their thoughts and their feelings, taking that into consideration, and then moving forward. Because you can always have a diverse people around you, but normally people just succumb to their own wants and needs, or to the majority of wants and needs. And that's not what I'm going to do. What I'm going to do is think about everybody.
Thank you, Alexander.
You're welcome. Thank you.